storytelling is important to hip hop because people relate to stories, and it keeps them waiting to see what's happening next in the song, and it keeps their interest. And then they could listen back to it again. And sometimes when you do freestyle rhymes, and I don't mean off the top, I mean like free of style type of rhymes, like a song that you just rapping and rapping and rapping. That's dope. They're fucking with your style. You're saying a couple dope punchlines, and they like listening to a dope rapper. But sometimes when you go into the stories and you tell true stories, factual stories, or fun stories, sometimes it brings them in. Like, wow, that happened to somebody I know, or that happened to me, or I could relate to that because I lost somebody I loved, or you know what, I was scared one time, and something like that similar. It's relatable. If you have mad punchlines, people like to hear rapping and punchlines, which is dope. You got to have those. But the storytelling ones, a lot of times, are the ones that they tattooing the lyrics on on their arms, or on their heart, or painting your words on the walls of their houses, or graffiti of those words. Is a lot of times when you're telling a story from within. It's like sometimes they'll drop your bars on there too, but you know what I'm saying. It's like a lot of times the personal ones. That's why when I was young in the game, or when Atmosphere came up, I didn't really see the vision of that. I didn't understand it at first, but then as time went on, and I opened my closed mind, I was like, yo, no, we're about Mobb Deep and Busta Rhymes, and but no, this group, a group called Atmosphere, and then you dig into them and you go, oh, he's saying things that's why that little white girl from Minnesota can fuck with that harder than she can Mobb Deep, shoot 'em up rhyme. It's like there's different levels to all craft. So when somebody's going deep and digging into things and telling people stuff it's like a reflection, a mirror sometimes. So that kind of storytelling is important. And also, if it's just, say if you go to the cinema, you're not always there for that self-reflected rhyme either. Sometimes you're there for some dirty jokes and eat some popcorn and see the car chase. And that's where, a guy like Slick Rick mastered. He would tell these ridiculously over the top but insanely beautifully structured stories. So stories are important in a lot of ways. They are. So how much rapping can you do? You could do it, but do you want to do that for 15 songs? Maybe 4 or 5 of them, on the album, 6. Well, my engineer been telling me for decades that like 80% of my songs are produced by me. He's like, you produced this, but that's not fair to some of the producers, because a lot of them put in stuff, but he believes that I should be the producer on, 80% of the song. He's like, come on, man, we sit here for 3-4 days with musicians coming in every day, and, what the producer give you a sample and the kick and the snare, you didn't even use the sample, and, this and that, but that, a lot of tracks aren't like that as well, there's a lot of tracks that aren't like that as well. But, even when I was on Jive, I was in the studio, 40 hours, maybe sleep on the couch. We was there, making sure everything, because the 2-inch reel era, so you couldn't go back to the song, so you had to keep the mix on the board, so you didn't want to leave the mix till it was done, and I'd sit there for days with records. So if you sort of the legendary loser, that was kind of the lesson. If a loser like me could do it, so could you. Like I came from the worst of the worst, and like I said, drugs, and not me, family, and death and sickness and poverty, and blackballed, and I came from like any obstacle you could throw in the way, they threw it at me. So I'm saying, if I could do it like this, and go tour the world and make a career for rapping for decades, if I could do it, so could everybody out there. Because, and not just me, if name anybody, if who's your favorite rapper, if they could do it, so could you. None of these people, nobody, actor, politician, none of them is more special than us. We're just human beings. So none of them is like no superhero. A lot of them just have, the right places, the right people, the right, passion sometimes, the work ethic. Like if you have it in you and you want to do it, you just gotta never take no and just keep beating your body up until you get it done, you know? So if I could do it, you could do it, you know? So